one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council President Brett Terheide.
Here.
Council Vice President Mike Wolski.
Here.
Councilmember Joe Seeker.
Here.
Councilmember Ed Loud.
Here.
Councilmember Ann Here.
All right, next is the consent agenda, claims register, and numerous other items. You might have any questions? I think I got with Eric already on the one that I saw. Anybody have any other question? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we send it in.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? I vote, ayes have it. Citizen comments. Okay. Staff reports, Chief.
Not sure if you have been seeing on social media or not, but we did collaborate with IMPD to help get in front of those spinner details before it gets too warm. So our guys have been active with them and getting some of that handled. They've had a couple of good arrests, and it was nice to see that. We are hosting a Coffee with a Cop on April 14th from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the Iron Trail. So if you're available, I'd like to see you guys come out, and we've got things posted on our social media about that as well.
I'm sorry, Susie, what date was that?
It's April 14th.
April 14th.
Both captains were out last week, and they are now officially certified in hostage negotiations. So they were there up in Carmel doing that with the FBI Aleda. And Captain Crook spent the last 3 days at a training for Pathway to Excellence. It's focused on officer wellness and success in law enforcement, and it's a huge conference that they do every year that has several different classes that help with all that. And that's it. Any questions for me?
Mr. Woods.
I'm gonna give just a couple of quick things and then hand it over to Cameron because he's got some exciting kind of plant updates and project updates. But I'll just talk about our houses real quick. The home up on North Buck Creek Road is officially listed for the market. That one is, I forget the address, but it's one close to I-70. And then we had a good walkthrough on the Four Squares with the interesting party beginning of this week as well. And we think it pan out pretty well. But just kind of want to give those quick real estate updates. But Cameron can talk about some of the more fun things going on.
Sure. So we've been rocking and rolling with the plant project. We're about 75% built out on the project. Big news is last week North Gym stopped receiving flow, so we are now pumping all flow from the North Gym plant to Pembroke. So we're working on dewatering that plant as we speak. Bringing out all the solids, all the grit that's been sitting in that tank for several decades now. And hopefully we'll be filling that tank here in the next month or so. So big deal. North Gym doing away. So
It is a big deal.
Just the maintenance cost of one.
yeah, all the money that's been put in that plant over the past several years. So.
April 15th is the target.
Yeah, I think April 15th is target to have everything out of those tanks so that we can start filling in. We'll have items come out, we'll have the spec tanks, and then after that's all said and done, we'll close out the MPS permit. So there won't be an active alcohol there anymore.
Cody and his team, Mike and the guys have been using the new vac truck and our polymer system, vac system out there. They've been doing a lot of the dewatering and separating solids out. We talked about that in the secondary meeting. Them doing that labor pulls anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 out of the contract and puts it back into the guaranteed savings so we can use it for other projects within the list. So getting good use out of the truck throughout this project as well, and able to turn that into additional dollars towards larger capital items in the project.
Excellent. Anything else?
That's it. Unless you guys have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
Guys have any questions for? Okay, see none. I see no old business, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, we're going to open the public hearing regarding 1317 Buckley Court for unsafe building order. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Hi
there, it's Beverly. Very easy, I can say. My name is Ian Fuquay, I'm a counsel for Saline Finance, for the servicer of the mortgage. So we have a collateral interest in the property, and this is Helma, Marion, who's a borrower of the property. We've been in contact, first off, this came across my desk 5 days ago, I understand this has been a little bit of an ongoing issue for you guys, so apologies for my late arrival here.
We're with you.
Yeah, so we've been in contact, and there was an insurance payout in regards to the fire. Those funds are currently in restricted escrow and play a vital role in this demolition process and them being able to afford it. So I requested a payout quote for my client 2 days ago. I don't have that yet, so I'm unable to tell Ms. Avila, how much money is left on her loan. So we can schedule a payout, but also so that we know how much funds she has to schedule the demolition of the property.
Do you feel from your research that you've done that would be enough to pay off the loan and do a demolition?
I am not sure of that.
Okay.
I have no reference for how much might be left on the loan.
Did you say there was insurance?
Yes.
And then should the insurance company not pay to demolish it?
I'm not under that impression, ma'am. It's not in my experience with how this works. Usually the borrower is the one who's responsible for demolishing the property. Hopefully, the city is engaged in this.
Our council probably needs to look into that.
So what I would say is this, what we have is we have a hearing as to whether or not this is unsafe work or whether or not a demolition order should be entered for final. Unless I'm hearing it differently, are you objecting to the unsafe building designation and that this house needs to be demolished?
No, I think all the parties agree that this is going to be a demolished property.
Okay. And so now, with that being said, it's just a question as to the timing for that process. If you want to work with a timing issue, that's one thing, but we want to make sure we have the order regarding that safe building locked in first, and then we can talk about how, the time it might take to get that information. I don't know how quickly you work.
Yeah, usually it doesn't take very long to get the output, so it's just kind of unique circumstances, taking more than a day. But it is an official document that the borrower can look at and sign, so it is generated when it's produced. That being said, I think I understand the order here today says we'll give a 30-day timeline. I would request maybe 90 to 60 if 90 is too much. I think we can make good progress in that time, but we just need to hammer out how much her payout quote is and get these funds dispersed. Because we'll have to put in a request to the investor for approval for this whole process. We don't own the mortgage, we're just a servicer.
Okay. Ms. Owens? You have any?
Our building commissioner, Aaron Jordan, is here tonight. Do you have questions on the order?
Here, I'm looking at the pictures. Was you able to look inside the residence as far as the structural safety of this facility or building?
No, but from what I can see from the street, part of it could be ready to collapse.
That's the way it looks on the picture, so I need somebody else to looks on the ground. Is there any other comments you'd like to make regarding this as far as the hearing goes?
Nothing other than the fact that, we want to work with the owners to get it down and get it rebuilt. Going into summertime with animals living in it and with the odor of the fire from the neighborhood, I think we have to take all that into consideration.
Yes. I agree. Have you had experience of this before? What's a normal time frame as far as getting contractors out there to work together?
I think it could be done in 30 days. If they had the funds available right now, I have no doubt in my mind that a contractor couldn't have it done in 30 days.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sure, please.
I started my insurance with another company, and the company sold my mortgage to Fifth Third Bank, and the Fifth Third Bank sold the mortgage for another company. Now I don't know where is my money, where is the insurance can do this, like who I can talk, who I can take this deal. And
The insurance I can't
tried
answer
going
you.
to a lawyer for that, I can't find any.
The insurance, I can't answer you. You'll have to do your research on, any time a house is transferred into a new mortgage, it should be at the recorder's office who owns that mortgage and title. Several up here own property, that having property, that's privileged property, and that's where it's recorded at, it's recorded on.
And typically, if a structure is a total loss, insurance company has to pay to have it.
The insurance not did anything. Anything. And now I rent another apartment, I pay for my apartment, and the first time, the bank, he talked to me, he said, I'm supposed to pay the mortgage and the rent. I said, why? My house is burned down. The insurance is supposed to do something for us, but the insurance not pay anything.
Yeah, I can't answer your policy, right? I don't know that, it depends on how the policy's written, who holds it, that I couldn't answer.
I wish I could give you some more information.
Right, I
on
appreciate
the
that.
insurers. That's not, us, so I can't speak to it. I do know there's an issue though as to the policy limits and what has been deposited into restricted escrow at this
Okay,
time.
who can help me for that?
Whomever your agent is for the insurance company would be the first person I would go to understand the policy limits, as he just said, how it's structured, how it's written. Get your insurance agent to sit down and talk about it. And they'd be the ones that will answer your question and tell you exactly, because they're going to have to facilitate that with the insurance company in order to do the other stuff. Is there anything else you need to present, or?
That's all from me. Again, I would like to request a little bit more than 30 days. I asked for 90, but I'll be amenable to 60 just to give us some more time.
Yeah, we'll certainly talk about it before we make the final ruling, obviously, we're sympathetic to it, that has to sit on my district. And I was contacted by one of my fellow constituents about it, so I'm also kind of sympathetic to folks that have to live there.
Understood.
Matter of fact, we'll probably get here from one of them tonight, so. Yeah, I'm a little sympathetic there too, so it's kind of a complicated issue. And the house, when did the fire occur?
October 26th.
So we're already 5 months in? Is that right? Yeah. Any additional questions here? Christine? Sure. All right.
It is a public hearing, so if there's anybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out, just want to make sure they were done.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Who also wishes to speak on this issue? Greg? Please step up, say your name or address. And this house, if I'm not mistaken, is right behind you, correct?
Yeah, it's on an angle, kind of. My backyard looks onto it. I'm Greg Sutherland, I live at 1354 Buckley Road. My main concern is the animals with the warm weather. I just don't, we've got enough without giving them more shelter. And that's my only concern. That's my big concern. Being invaded by animals. Plus, I mean, the structure has be enticing to kids roaming about, that kind of thing too. So that's really my main concern. And I just wanted to be addressed and find out where, the process of that.
Absolutely. See if I have any questions for Greg. Okay. Does anybody else wish to speak on this issue? Okay, Christine, you have any additional you want to add on this? Sir? Sure. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any vote of contention on the house needs to be demoed. That we can all agree on. So as instructed by council, I think we take a vote on that issue as far as the demo.
Close the meeting.
Close public hearing first, all right. I think we can take a vote on that issue on its face, is that correct, Neil?
Correct.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion regarding 1317 Buckley Court for unsafe building work. I'll make a motion. I have a motion?
I'll lose a second.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, 5-0. Now we discuss the matter of time. while I understand completely, escrow can take some time to work out, and I understand completely that there's some insurance questions here. We have been 5 months since the fire. And to be honest with you, I'll be 100% honest, Ray called me, that I brought to Christine, and we'll proceed from there. We're already having 5 months. I'm not inclined to give 90 days. I'm willing to be reasonable, but I also have a huge concern for the folks that live in the neighborhood. Since the inspectors already said there are some walls that can collapse, this causes a huge safety issue, and I think liability issue. Go ahead, please, let's go ahead and speak.
Also, if your insurance, if you don't make your payment, I believe, or some of you didn't know, or whatever, there was confusion. Usually, if insurance lasts, the mortgage company will insure it and then charge you. Somehow, some way, there should be insurance.
In my understanding is that there is insurance, it is sitting in escrow, and that's what they're working out. So we're trying to find
Okay.
Yeah, and how much they owe to pay that off versus what's left in order to do the destruction of the property.
Okay, I misunderstood because the confusion of where she said she didn't know the mortgage company or whatever.
Yeah, apparently it's an escrow being tied up, and then they're trying to work that out between what's left on the mortgage, is there money left over to do the demo, things on that nature.
So in most insurance policies, there is a cap, right, a maximum payout amount.
Right.
And so my guess is, this is complete total speculation, but is that insurance paid in what they can pay in for their max. There's a question as to whether or not that satisfies the mortgage, then that's sure, or, and if, my guess is it will, and then what is left over for the damage. They've got to close one out and then move on.
Who's liable right now for that building, insurance company or mortgage company?
It is the landowner and, technically it's still in that landowner's name unless the mortgage company has, taken that, so.
Jill, is it up to the council members to determine the number of days they want to give?
Yeah, as a hearing authority for the unsafe building, you have that authority.
I was gonna say, I agree with that 90 days to be, I don't want this dragging out until July.
I'm thinking, but I'm gonna throw this out there to my fellow council members. I'm sympathetic to situations where I was trying to get the escrow figured out. The one thing I have found, the longer you give, the longer it takes. So I'm gonna put a little pressure here. I'm also sympathetic to those who have to live there, see it every day, and any kind of dangers. My number I've got in my mind, and I'm gonna put up my fellow council members for discussion, is 45 days as a compromise level from today. The town steps in and does it. Are you okay with that? Gentlemen? I'm fine with it.
Yeah, there's another discussion.
No, it would just take a motion to.
Right, and I'm just trying to have a discussion, make sure we're all in agreement with the motion. Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the 45 days.
So moved.
Second. All in favor of giving 45 days from today for it to be leveled, or the town will execute a strategy to get that done. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Ayes have it, 45 days from today. '26th day? You step in. All right. New business. Consideration of 1317 Dudley Court unsafe building order. We already did, never mind. That's moving along so quick. Consideration of 2026 stage quotes. No.
So after before you tonight with a consideration of the 2026 stage quote, I thought it would be worthwhile to first give a little bit of context
on some of our event updates. So after reviewing the attendee and vendor feedback, as well as some of the attendance rates, we made the decision to pause Rocktimber indefinitely. There's a purpose behind that.
That's a smart move.
The thought behind that was that by pausing Rocktimber, we could use those funds to enhance our other events, mainly drawing some higher quality acts for BBB, but also enhancing some of our smaller events. We're also really trying to get some more of those regional draw with that talent. And also we made the change to shorten the July and August events to 2 bands instead of 3. Which is some further cost savings. It also allows for less turnover in between the events, or in between the bands, which leads us to the quote that was in your packet, or the estimate that was in your packet, I apologize. That is the gas productions estimate. So it's $4,500 per event. So that would be for the 3 BBBs as well as Rhinox Smart, so a total package of $18,000. For comparison, the 2025 package, excluding Rocktimber to make it comparable, was $18,900. So it's a cost savings this year. So it's that reduction of $150 per event, which brings down the total cost as well. So with that, I'm seeking your recommendation to move forward with 2026 stage.
One quick question, unstable weather like we had this past year, we can't take it off Orange Street with it. What's our price that we're in for, or is there a clause in there to save money on the stage on the December Rhinox Smart if that has to be moved?
I can go back with Greg and see if we can negotiate that to have a little bit of a better clause in there.
I think in the past, we have a couple of days where we have to give notice, and sometimes there's no impact, or it's like 50%. And then if it's within so many days of the event, and I can't remember the exact days, it's like 48 hours or something.
It's 48 hours,
Okay.
yeah.
48 hours, then we're on the
Do we have that in writing?
I do. He has a terms of service clause that once we enter into this, we can then sign or recommend changes.
That's in writing, and,
Yeah.
okay.
He's been pretty good about that, and one of the issues is with the weather, as you guys know, that's why we made the call earlier.
Yeah.
It does put us into a tricky position. Part of what we spent on Linux Smart last year was because we still had them come into the school and run audio and lighting and stuff for the stage for all the performer acts that still happen, so. That's why we still had the cost for Linux Smart despite moving inside, because they were still in there, they brought in all their equipment, because the school didn't want us to use their equipment.
Gotcha. Any questions regarding the quote for the 4 events, 3 BBBs and 1 Rhinox Smart?
We did seek other quotes, and so the price was that Greg gave us is comparable to what we found at another firm that quoted for it, and then the third firm was actually much more expensive. Just to let you know, kind of, we did put it out, we did check, and felt that this was the best direction.
If there's other questions, I'll take the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the quote from Gas Productions.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a first and a second on the motion for 2026 consideration, $4,500 per event, $18,000 total. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Consideration of the various professional services agreement versus contract.
As you guys know, we do a lot of economic development work with various /Civitas strategies and their team. We've not updated our agreement and rates for the past couple of years, and we had several projects between police department and economic development, community development that we wanted to do this year. I negotiated with them the past couple of months because I didn't want to do like 6 separate agreements and all these things. I wanted to try to package it together and negotiate costs down to have it all under one more nimble agreement for the year. That proposed cost with that, and some of those we talked about, they do development, redevelopment representation. It's asking to get more involved in the community development corporation land. There's 2 developers that they brought to the table for that property that we've been dealing with here recently. The kind of council retreat we talked about doing outside, I've asked them to kind of participate and do that through their government services side. And then some executive training and some leadership training for the captains and some of our staff through their government services side, as well as work with myself and one of the incoming interns on launching a Citizens Academy to start training people in through the summer to build out that program so we can replicate that and do that year over year for probably a 6 to 8 week course where it'll be a different department that we learn about each month. So that overall pricing moves it from $5,000 to $9,000 a month to add all those additional services.
And that's a flat rate for 12 months?
Correct, yeah. It's $9,000 a month for 12 months, so, and it's extendable. But we would likely go back down once we complete that. One of the largest pieces in there is to provide the economic development strategy to come along and carry with the top land.
Any questions for Ben on this service agreement? Does council have a chance to look at this, or, okay, any good questions? They look pretty straightforward. All exciting for all pages.
So I think I told you on the phone, they're pretty simple. When I asked the director, Jack, about changes that our attorneys had some, he's like, oh, it was just click accept all and send it.
I mean, BF&S writes the best contract. I mean, they're the easiest to read, but yeah. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. Any questions on the contract? Joe? Okay. I know. Yeah. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
No, I'll make a motion. To accept that presented tonight, and I believe to the way I saw it, like they did, they have been in place to sign it, so.
Right, and what?
There's been to sign it.
Okay. Second. I have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. All right, our last item on the agenda this evening is from Ms. Owens. Consideration of ordinance 2026-04, amending the Connection Heights PUD. I believe, thank you for giving us the graphic artistry, so we have a better concept of the
Yes. So I'm here on behalf of the Planning Commission to certify for you that this is coming with a positive recommendation by a vote of 6-0. The hearing for this case was held at a regular meeting Wednesday, March 25th of 2026. This is an amendment to the existing Connection Heights PUD, so this is the northeast corner of 740, particularly the 20-ish acres at the hard corner, so this does not impact anything in the residential portion of the PUD. And this area was originally proposed for mixed use. The proposal before you is for commercial development on that acreage, and so because of that slight change from a vertical mixed use to a horizontal, standards are proposed to change, and so that's what you're seeing this evening. The petitioner's representative is here this evening, has some slides for you, and kind of walk you through at a high level what's being proposed, and then if you have any questions, we're happy to answer those. Again, the public hearing on this one is held back I don't think it was just last week, so with that.
Thank you, Christine. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How do we do this? Oh,
Caitlin, can you-
okay.
We're hoping one day you'll just wave the hand to this board.
Yeah, well, I started touching it earlier.
That's the logical thing, right? That's the logical.
I can't call it, oh, there we go.
There you go, you're on.
Sorry, folks. Yeah, counselors, Nisha Rabinovich, I'm a land use attorney, Dinsmore and Shoal, Minneapolis. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Also here with me is Derek Gordon, the Space Coder's site engineer. The developer of this site is Kenmar. Kenmar is a local developer. Brent Bench, who was here last week for the planning commission meeting, he's on spring break tonight, so unfortunately he didn't get me. Brent and his team, though, are experienced local developers. They've done developments like this, kind of neighborhood retail in Noblesville and Carmel and Lebanon and Westfield. So they've got a lot of experience in doing this. I think that Christine did a nice job of kind of orienting you to the developments, the south end of that Connection Heights PUD, which you approved 3 or 4 years ago. The north 3/4 of the site is the Parkview Village residential piece, and this is the 22, 23 acres of the south. As we got into kind of thinking about the development of the site and the orientation of buildings on the property, here to see the site plan, which hopefully you have in front of you too, it became clear that there was going to need to be some adjustment of the development standards and the guidelines that were originally set out at PUD, which in my experience is not unusual when you do a kind of a high-level general PUD without knowing exactly what's going to go on the property. So at 30,000 feet, we're really just asking for approval of some adjustments to that PUD that was originally approved to fit what we think is going to go on the property. The site plan that you see is conceptual in nature. The one thing that Kenmar and its team do in a lot of their developments are the ACE hardware flag store, and that is likely in building number 2 on lot 1, which is in the kind of northwest corner of that site plan. We've submitted some building elevations. Those 2 are conceptual. In terms of the architectural standards, we haven't really adjusted anything, I don't think. I think we understand that the National Road Overlay requirements apply, and that when we come back for development plan approval, that will include a full detailed review by the Planning Commission of the architecture of the buildings as they come up. Again, we think that probably that ACE hardware will be the first one to come up. In terms of the amendments, I won't go through all of them. The PUD would permit, in terms of uses, all B3 uses, which is your most intense kind of commercial retail category, which would include restaurants and retail and office.
And gas stations.
And gas stations. That's correct.
I don't think I said with a happy tone where.
There was a suggestion in her tone that I understood. That is not planned, but it's certainly something that could happen. Let's see, the next slide is the landscape plan. Important to the sort of arrangement of the site is to provide for pedestrian connectivity with sidewalks and walks connecting the residential to the north. The staff has asked for, and the developer is agreeable to a walk around that retention pond that you see, which we think will be a pretty nice feature, and then also sidewalks along 40 and County Road 700. Some other details included in the amendment are a 30-foot landscape buffer around perimeter around the perimeter of the site and adding some additional berming in relation to where the site would be adjacent to residential to try to provide some additional screening. I guess with that sort of overview of what we're proposing, I guess there's some other slides you have in front of you, the architecture for the hardware store building, which again is conceptual, but I believe that we think it meets the National Road Overlay standards that you already have in place. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that we ask for your approval of the amendment.
And for the council's knowledge, within the original PUD, there are a number of the B3 uses that were excluded. Some of those were put back in under this one to accommodate what the plan is for the developer, but there are still several that are excluded from this property.
Yeah, I would suggest that you guys look on page 17 and read them. And that's just kind of why I said what I said earlier, just to make sure that council understands. And it's a little confusing because what is written there from the original PUD, everything, all those were excluded. The ones that are blue now and marked out are no longer excluded, which even includes auto service for body repair. That's the one I have a little bit of an issue with. So the ones that are excluded is the farm, implement sales, lumberyard, manufactured home sales, pawn shop, recreational vehicles, tobacco or vape stores. So, and then, well, yeah.
Do you want me to react to that, or are you guys pondering it?
I think they're reading and pondering.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to picture this, to visualize it there on the south side, I guess, Parkview, coming up.
It's not gonna be right on 40, it's gonna be,
Back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna use that property around 40 for other businesses.
I guess, I don't know what kind of business we would attract if we had a body shop behind it. I doubt that would happen, but we have, it happened already.
Was this the Anderson Tree one that was here on the planning commission, the rest of us were on? Is this the deal that was agreed to by planning commission, that 600?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought on the service the body repair would, especially the body repair was eliminated, but there's a little confusion there and they weren't all read, I don't think, but I don't know, anyway.
It was part of the motion, wasn't it?
Okay.
Joel, can we, is this amendable?
Yeah, so you can accept the recommendation, you can reject the recommendation. If you want to change to it, you go back to that commission.
Well, I know that the money's will get back, and the time is money I get back. I'm trying to,
I just want to add, Kristen, you can probably help here. There was a conversation about that at the planning commission. I thought the conclusion was that the body shop really wasn't as noxious, if that's the right word, as one might think, because of how paint and other things are, disposed of in an environmentally safe way versus how you historically think of a body shop where you could have scraps lying around.
We used to, we were kids 40 years ago, right, you have more of our car than they.
Right, yeah. My point is that I think the plan commission, from my view, was considered precisely the issue you raised and decided wasn't an issue.
And I can tell you that there was a discussion, Ted led that discussion regarding, he initially had an issue regarding potential contaminants with paint, but then there was discussion that was way above my head to talk about how it's water-based paint now and not the whole lead-based paint and all this kind of stuff, so it's not as environmentally hazardous.
Body shops typically now are environmentally regulated much tighter than they were 20 years ago.
I can also.
That was really the conversation, that they had, and, I know Ted and at one point had said, I'd be okay with that, and then at the time the motion was made, there were no additional uses that that were asked to strike.
I like the structure, I like the layout, that's not an issue, it's just, as we sit here April 1st, 2026, we'll have this agreement that, April 1st, 2036, school year.
Yeah, I think the only lot that there's a plan for is lot 1 at this time. Outlots, obviously, and other lots would come back later for plats and things, so we're kind of establishing that minimum standard or expectation. And Margaret is wanting to get there moving this spring. I think May, June is what I keep hearing, and I'm like, it's April. So, yeah, that's right. So, there was definitely a lot of conversation and her, we use this more of a auto oriented.
Joe? I'm not down with it. I'd rather see us send it back to the plan commission. I've seen before where, there's developments around. One that comes to mind right now is up, is it Oleo? At 96 or something, there's a square right in there that's got a big Ace Hardware, it's got some restaurants, Ale Emporium right there. But if you look at that and picture.
Northeast corner, I think, right? Yeah.
And if you picture that now, and then we start replacing some of those buildings with some of the items on the list that we find less than desirable for that particular spot, you can take a big change and make a big difference in the property.
There are
Yeah.
those uses on Oleo Road, not parking there. There are some auto repairs on Oleo,
Right,
not parking.
yeah.
I guess is it the body repair well, it sounds like it's the only.
The body shop, I think so, I think that's a hang-up. Well, maybe.
I'm thinking about what we're gonna track next to mine, if we're going to.
Well, isn't that, all the ones that are blue that are crossed out are now on the table?
Yes.
Okay, so we have auto filling stations, body shops, car wash. This is all going to be directly in front of a rather large subdivision, residential subdivision with thousands of people living there in rather expensive homes. And no matter how hard you try to, and I'm a car guy, so I know, but automobiles will, oils, things that drip off of it, oils, transmission fluids, rear end fluids, whatever,
they make a lasting impression on the pavement, which deteriorates that much faster, and it just becomes more of an eyesore.
Maybe,
Even a gas station.
yeah,
I mean, you already get around here at Wawa, where all the cars park in front of the building, you can see where there's oil, you step in the oil and you drag it around.
yeah, I think we try to solve this.
No, you're, exactly, that's what I'm wanting to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's done tonight.
First of all, this is a higher end commercial retail development. It's a body shop is certainly not something that I think the developer is looking at. Car wash is a possibility, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. And I suppose it's a possibility. It's a filling station, no. I mean, I don't even know what that is anymore. Now we have Wawa and, large convenience store, which I think that's important to keep in here too. But if it's just a matter of eliminating body shop,
I was just getting ready to ask, do you have the latitude to do that?
my client's not here with me, but I believe so. In order to get this done tonight, what I was going to suggest to council, I heard that there's an amendment that has to go back to the planning commission.
If it's originated by them, if you're willing to make a commitment.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to suggest, yeah. So if we.
We've been dropping hints.
I think we're all trying.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. So yes, I think that the developer petitioner would commit to eliminating body repair.
Yeah, it's auto service combined repair.
Well, is auto service a problem too?
Huh?
I was distinguishing between body repair and auto service. Is auto service a problem too?
Yeah, maybe. Only to Joe.
To me, it would be yes. Still, we have a lot of development going on in the town, and I think all of it's going to be very nice when it's finished, and I would like to see our commercial be as nice. And I still, it might be a hang up on my end, I don't know. But if I take the drawing, take the plat, what's there for buildings, if I start picking them off and say, that one's gonna be a car wash, that one's gonna be a body shop, that one's gonna be a gas station, this one over here is gonna be a muffler and tire shop, this one over here is gonna, pretty soon that whole section of what we thought was gonna be a nice, with the exception of maybe a nice hardware store, is not gonna look as nice.
Yeah. I'm only smiling because it's like the absolute worst case scenario you could ever.
Well, I know that.
But I understand that's your
And
thing.
you gotta understand, we're the ones that live here, we gotta look out.
I totally understand, so I don't need to make light of it.
Yeah, no, you're not, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
Would you
let's,
like a minute to make a phone call?
if that's permissible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear this done tonight, yeah, I think auto service and body shop are the hangups, am I correct?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
One of the things
there's
that
a
came
lot
up
of don't like,
in the
but I'm
conversation.
willing to go along
We need
with
to,
it.
compromise some too. Thank you.
Use preclusion for the town.
So what Easter plans does everybody have while we're waiting intermission here with the rain? Welcome.
I just feel like I've been shoved into this.
Really?
It's not what it's.
They didn't hear that.
One thing I would talk to you guys is,
This is what-
if decisions where those uses should be, where would they be appropriate? Because US 40 is arterial,
It is.
it is an intense commercial corridor, that's kind of where our company calls for. So it's 33 district, so if not, and I'm not saying you have to answer that, but consider, if not here, where would they be appropriate? Because we have to allow.
That's a good point, however, we've always talked about the National Road, and we
Sure.
talked about only B1 development a while ago. I didn't even know that we completely changed our, like.
I do have approval or authority.
On the auto service and
Auto
body
service
shop?
and body shop.
I can live with this then. Joe? You're happy. so happy.
Yeah. I'm fine with it.
And you will?
Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down, but I'm not really good with any of it, but I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve it as presented with the exception of the auto body and auto repair.
Auto service and body repair.
Okay, yeah.
Andrew, second?
I'll let somebody else do that.
I'll second. I've got a motion and a second. Any additional conversation? And the exclusion is the auto service and body repair will still not be allowed. Everything else that's in blue is allowed. Do I have any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 5-0, ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Work on those restaurants.
Will do. Anyone in particular?
Huge promise to Panera.
What's that?
Huge promise to Panera.
No.
Moving onward.
I mean, I would take a Panera. I would take something else. You know something? There are absolutely no Chinese restaurants anywhere close by.
Okay. Now you're talking about something, so that's true.
That is true.
You can say
Sir,
that
I'm
about
going to talk to you after.
Okay.
Council comments?
That Panera would be good. That and a Panera would be good.
What was the other?
Chinese restaurant and a
Okay.
Panera.
Councilor comments?
I would try to staff that.
You're all right. You're all right.
Falls on us as executive town, we got a couple of street signs in Valley Brook Village. The wording is completely gone, all the letters are.
Yeah.
And it's over the years of the sun hitting in the summertime and storms sitting in there.
Yeah, Everett's, so, yeah, it's on us. Everett's actually doing a sign audit right now, and preparing orders. One of the things we're also looking at is for kind of starting to rebrand our signs to go with we're trying to design a blue sign with our logo that we can start matching like our US 40 design through. Starting with major streets, but the general sign order repair should be starting. Well, I know they already ordered one round, so they should be placing another round and see a lot of sign units coming up over the spring. So I'll message everyone, make sure you know specific people get both sides. You might look at the sun side, because that's where most of the taking's at. Yeah, that will be us.
But it says that, somebody pointed out to me today that the grocery sign about 10th Street.
Yeah.
Road.
The 10th Street, the larger one.
Yeah, it's
So-
road instead of street.
Yeah, it's like that one's Indianapolis, because of the sign control, but I can also, there's a street control that I can send that to DPW.
Road is the one.
Yeah.
On First. That's all. I would have
Joe and I actually talked about last night, the engagement we were at, and I said, tell them, I know Brenda Gaston got with me on some signs she's putting together, so, yeah, your orders will be probably this morning, next week, or something.
Yeah, so we're talking with a sign group, trying
Where is
to get a template design for basically the blue sign with the town logo, that size, so we're hoping to order what we can in that new design more as well too. So we just think it'll be a better branding for the town and deal with some of, with the Greenfield and Indianapolis, many of them come up. That's why you got blue sign with kind of one logo.
Good point.
Do we know how far they're along on the project I'm using?
They're about 3 weeks from completion now. They're getting most main drag down. So. Yeah, a long time, a lot of waiting on citizens for utility relocate, but they said it'd be 6 weeks from the time they restarted a couple weeks ago, so.
We'll make an ordinance to rename it Joe Seafood Boulevard. No.
You'll have to deal with the post office.
Any other council comments? All right, future agenda items, Mr. Lewis.
At your next meeting, Adam and I should have the financial policies with our recommendations, or making some updates on those after we had our conversation end of last year on that in the fall. I told you guys via email that Representative Lawson is going to be here and he'll speak briefly to you guys during the meeting, but he's happy to hang around and have an individual longer conversation with you guys afterwards. I think you're going to have a couple items coming back to you from some other groups as well, so.
Okay, open work session, right?
Sure.
Work hard enough. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. See you tomorrow.